Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to Well with Mika, where we talk real wellness for your real life. I'm Mika, your cultural wellness ally, and today we're going to get into a topic that's been circulating for a few months now, and it is about synthetic braiding hair. So, Consumer Reports tested 10 of the most popular synthetic braiding hair brands, like the ones you see in every beauty supply store, the ones that, we've been using for years. And what they found is that every single one of them, not some of them, but all of them, come they contain carcinogens. So now what they also found is that they also contain lead. Like 9 out of 10 of the products contain lead, which is the same lead we know that damages children's developing brains, the one that causes reproductive issues and nervous system problems. Now, I remember as a kid there was a time when I used synthetic extensions, and for some reason it irritated my scalp, right? Now, in my head, oh, it's just it's just my personal reaction to the thing. Maybe my scalp is sensitive, but it turns out maybe, that hair was trying to tell me something like, this is not the place where you want me to be, okay? So today, now we need to talk about what's really in that braiding hair, why it matters for our health, and what we can actually do about it. And I want to be clear, from jump, this is not about shaming anybody for using extensions or anything like that. Do with your hair as you please. This is about having the information that we all deserve to make informed choices about our own personal health. All right? Now, so what did the study find? So, what Consumer Reports discovered when they tested these products is that 100% of the samples contained carcinogens, including benzene, which is a known carcinogen that causes leukemia. So, of course, that kind of chemical is dangerous. Lab scientists, they try to avoid using it because of its cancer risk. They found lead in 9 out of the 10 products at levels that the experts say are unsafe. And we're not just wearing this for an hour or two. We're wearing it for 4 to 6 weeks at a time against our scalp, our skin, where it can be absorbed through the skin. Then they also found volatile organic compounds, also known as VOCs, in every product. These are released as gases, especially, when you heat the hair, when you're sealing it, when they dip it in that hot water or they use the lighter to seal the ends. That is the worst part of it. And that's when these chemicals are being released into the air that you and your braider are inhaling. And the thing about it is that most of these products don't even list their ingredients on the package. So you fly in blind. You don't even know that what is on your scalp, on your skin, what, if you're a braider, what you're touching. You have no way of knowing what you're buying or what you're using until some outside company tests it. And this isn't some fringe issue. Black women and girls, look, we use these products at high rates as part of our cultural practice, for protective styling for our identity, which means we're carrying the health risk. We are the ones that are most at risk. Now, I just want to connect some dots for you because this is beyond beauty. This is really bigger than just the hair products. Because research has shown for years that beauty and personal care products marketed to black women often have higher levels of harmful chemicals. The hair relaxers, the skin lightening creams, and now our hair braiding. There's a pattern here, unfortunately. And black women already have high rates of certain cancers and reproductive health issues. And, we've talked about about the health disparities before on the show. Remember the stress and heart disease episode? This is just another layer of that same systemic problem. Your body is being exposed to these chemicals in a multitude of ways. So through your scalp, your skin absorbing it, through breathing, especially when the heat used, as I mentioned earlier. And then don't forget about hand to mouth contact. You touch your hair, then you eat. So these aren't theoretical risks. Like, these are real exposure pathways that happen every time you wear synthetic braids. Now, I also want to be clear about something else. There's no study yet that definitively says that wearing synthetic braids causes cancer. There's no causation link mentioned yet. But when you find the same chemicals that are linked to cancer in other contexts sitting on someone's scalp for weeks at a time, we just need to pay attention and reduce exposure where we can. That's just sensible, right? So what are our alternatives? I mean, okay, so part of the issue is that there are different types of hair, right? So maybe you're wondering, what about Kanekalon versus other types, or human hair? So let's break that down so we could think about it in simple terms and really make conscious decisions. So now we have Kanekalon and Toyokalon, right? Those are both the synthetic fibers, and they're made from like plastic polymers, and one feels a little softer, or other one holds heat a little better. But switching between them, it doesn't really eliminate the chemical risk. It's like choosing between two brands of the same problematic problem, right? Then you have human hair. Now, human hair, yes, it can reduce some of the synthetic chemical exposure, but it's not perfect either. So, human hair extensions, they can be bleached, dyed, chemically treated during the process. If you go this route, just look for ethically sourced or minimally processed human hair, just like you do your food, right? So, yes, it's going to cost more, but it can be reused, and, it might be worth it for your health. I'm just saying, if you can reuse it so you don't have to continuously keep buying, and, it's better for your health, that's a win-win to me, but you make the decision. Then you have your plant-based options, brands like Rebundle that use banana fiber, or I think it's pronounced nori, that uses plant materials. Those are emerging as lower risk alternatives, and some users report fewer scalp reactions, and they feel different in texture apparently, and they cost more, but they're an option worth considering. So the bottom line is, no option is completely free, of risk, but some are definitely safer than the others. So, all right, let's get practical, because I want to give you some real steps you can take right now. Not perfect solutions, but at least harm reduction strategies that you can use to help. So before your installation, you want to pre-wash the hair. I know many of you have heard of this before. I know a lot of people do it. This is the number one thing that I think stylists and public health experts would recommend. Soak your braiding hair in diluted apple cider vinegar. So you want 2 parts water to 1 part apple cider vinegar. So if you have 2 cups of water, you have 1 cup of ACV, right? Or you could wash it gently, with a gentle shampoo, and then rinse it thoroughly, and make sure you let it air dry for at least a day or two, 24 to 48 hours before the installation. Now, will this remove all the chemicals? No, but it can remove like the surface residues, and reduce that chemical smell, or lower that immediate irritation. So think of it like washing your produce. When you wash your fruits and your veggies, you're not removing all the pesticides, but you're definitely reducing your exposure. And then the other one you can do is a patch test. Some people, they recommend doing a patch test where, and then if you notice you've had any reactions before, kind of like how my scalp reacted, just braid a few sections and wait to see if that happens, and if you get any itching, redness, or swelling. This one is a little more difficult because, how many people are putting in just a couple braids and then waiting a few days? Most of us ain't got time for that, right? But if that's something that you can pull off, you want to try, please go ahead and do. Then now, during the installation process, you can insist on good ventilation. If your braider is using hot water, or sealing your ends, or using heat tools, make sure you're in a well-ventilated space. Maybe open windows, use fans. Go outdoors if you can. Go on somebody's porch or something, right? Some braiders, they have reported feeling nauseous and dizzy from the fumes. That's chemicals being released into the air. So braiders, take care of yourselves as well. You have the most exposure. You're doing this on a regular, constant basis. So make sure we're taking care of each other, right? Use a scalp barrier. Apply the oil or some protective product to your scalp before you install your braids, to create like that barrier between your skin and the synthetic hair. And of course, don't go too tight, all right? We don't want to see those little bumps or nothing like that. Those tight braids plus the chemical irritation. Why would we do that to ourselves? That's a double hit to your scalp. It don't need that. It don't need all of that, okay? Just ask your braider for a comfortable tension, make sure it's not too tight, and you'll be good. And then between your installs, give your scalp a break, okay? Don't just go from one braid to the next. Instead of like that immediate rebraiding after 4 to 6 weeks, take some time between the styles. Your scalp just needs a little time to recover from the chemical exposure, from the tension. Just give it a little rest. then of course monitor your symptoms. If you have persistent itching or burning, the redness or any other reaction, take those braids out. Okay, take the braids out. Maybe go see a doctor. Report it to the FDA. Consumer complaints, they create pressure for better regulation. So don't just keep it to yourself. Talk to your girlfriends. Yeah, talk to everybody. Talk to your girlfriends, but make sure you report it. We take for granted that when you tell your doctor certain things that they can actually do something about it, but they can. Tell them your reaction and ask them if there's an agency that they could report it to so that it's documented that these things are happening. Then choose safer options when you can. If plant-based or human hair fits your budget, try it. Support Black-owned brands that are trying to create cleaner alternatives. We have to take care of each other. Now, I know some of these conversations might feel awkward. I get it. I don't like having awkward conversations either. But you really have every right to ask questions about what's going on your head. So how to approach it, maybe at the beauty supply store you ask, do you have any ingredient information on this hair? Probably they won't. Most of them will not. But maybe if you keep asking, then the word will get out. Look, people want to know. Do you carry any plant-based or human hair options? Ask. Then with your braider, do you pre-wash the hair before installation? If they don't, hey, can we schedule it so that you have time to pre-wash mine before we do the install? Can we work near a window with a fan on, while we're sealing the ends? Most professional braiders care about their clients' health and their own. They're exposed to these chemicals daily too. So frame it as if you're taking care of both of you. So it's the bigger picture. What I need you to understand is that this isn't just about individual choices. This is a system failure. Right now, there are no federal regulations requiring these products to be tested for safety or to list their ingredients. The FDA doesn't specifically regulate synthetic braiding hair. Companies can put whatever they want in these products and market them to us without any oversight. And that needs to change. So how does change happen? Change happens when we, number one, share the information in our communities. So share this episode, yes. Report reactions to your healthcare providers and regulators. Support brands creating safer alternatives. Demand transparency from companies we're buying from, okay? Your personal steps, they do matter, but so does collective action. So what I want you to take away, the braiding hair at your local beauty supply store, yeah, it likely contains harmful chemicals. That's not a maybe. It's actually not a maybe. It's a definite, because that's what the testing is showing. But you're not powerless. Pre-washing, ventilation, scalp barriers, limiting your duration of keeping the braids in, and choosing alternatives, healthier alternatives when possible, these all will reduce your risk. And this isn't about giving up cultural practice or protective styling. It's really about demanding that the products made for us be safe for us, because we deserve that. I'm putting the links in the show notes to the Consumer Reports findings, safer brand options, and how to report the reactions to the FDA. So please take a look, share them with your braider, your friends, your family, okay? We need to protect from crown to corns, okay? From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, all right? Culturally, physically, we have to protect ourselves. So thank you so much for sitting with me on this important topic. If this episode resonated, please share it. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, love yourself, love your hair, love your life, and take care of that beautiful body. And as always, happy healthing. Peace.